So we need to be in some close games, know that we can win them, take care of the ball, make free throws late, get some stops late. So proud of the guys for that. A lot of stuff to learn from the game, though. You know, with our offensive rebounding that we gave up was disastrous, and it really could have cost us the game. So we got to get that cleaned up. Our turnovers are still too high, but you know, I mean, shoot, if you look, they got 31 more field goal attempts up than we did. That's usually not a recipe for winning games. So we've got to get a lot of stuff cleaned up before the LSU game, but at this stage, you know, playing non-conference game in the middle of, towards the end of January against a good team, and it is a hard-playing team. They just took care of West Virginia 2 games ago, pretty good. We'll take the win right now and hopefully learn, and guys will be mature enough to know that we've got to fix a lot of things, even though we won. So proud of the guys for the win, but we got a lot to get fixed here before Wednesday.
All right, let's take questions for Shaq and Kyra first. We'll start with Cecil in the back.
For Kyra, 2 questions now that it's over with. Did you feel any extra motivation today, any extra emotion?
You know, I guess you could say so, but I try to approach every game like it's the same game. I get too high, get too low, but him being my coach, you know, just having love for each other, I guess so.
And twice, with under 5 minutes left, they had cut the lead to 1, and both times you took the ball to the basket and made crucial shots. What was your mindset during that stretch?
You know, when a team make a run like that, you just figure out ways as a point guard to try to stop the bleed, get a bucket, and try to get a stop and try to get more buckets. So I just try to take it upon myself, make the right read, and get a basket for us.
Left side, Tony.
Jaden, you were really influential in that 14-3 run. I think you had and one layup, a 3, and then you drew the charge. Just what were you feeling during that time?
I mean, we just were gelling as a team during that run. We were getting down in transition. I feel like coming out of the half strong was important for us to end the game. So just coming out with energy and doing whatever I can to help us win.
Stay on the left side, Drew.
This is for both guys. This is a tough, gritty win against a team with K-State that really did a nice job on the offensive glass. How much do you guys think this team has grown since the game against Florida?
Kyra, go ahead.
I had to say, you know, when a team make a run, we just found a way to make a big play and shift it to our side. So unlike we did in Florida, we actually made a big play and got the win.
I feel like we've got a lot of adversity since then and before that. So I feel like just diving into adversity through those games, we've become more comfortable with adversity and just coming back at it.
Let's do a couple more questions for student athletes. Start with Alex on the right.
For both guys, but Kyra can start. There were several times when I think there were like 6 or 7 minute shooting droughts. You know, just couldn't get a basket in the hole. And then I think you came through several times to kind of push that in. Just what was it like out there when shots aren't falling, and how do you kind of overcome something like that?
Well, you can't drop your head if you missing shots. You just got to keep shooting them, because the shots you don't take is the shots you don't make. So you just try to keep making plays, and when you see one go through, you get confidence to keep knocking them down.
We're in the gym a lot. We shoot hundreds of shots. So, I mean, coach doesn't want us passing up any open shots, wants us making the right read. So we're going to keep shooting. So that's what it is.
Anything else for student athletes? All right, you guys good? Thank you. We'll go ahead and take questions for Coach Oats at this time. We'll start with Alex right here on the right.
And then kind of follow up on that. You know, there were some long droughts. You know, at the first half, I think it was 6:20. You only attempted 2 shots during that. But the second half one was kind of that allowed them to cut it to 1. Just what was going through your mind during those periods, and talk about Kyra kind of stepping in and making some shots when you needed.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact droughts. I do remember through the first half, I think we turned it over 3 straight trips down the floor. So you're turning it over like that, just tend to be long droughts. I mean, you have 3 straight trips, you're going to get a shot up on glass. That's a problem. So we've got to fix the turnover issue. We've been working on it. If it was 25 tonight, like it was against Vandy, there's no chance we win. So we were able to get the win. I think when we did turn it over, some of those droughts, I think we took some tough shots, got late in the clock. This is a pretty good defensive team, and they were playing really hard. Obviously with the 22 awards they went and got, but we gotta do a better job. I was getting a little frustrated over there, like, you know, offensively. And we're so much better when we're playing off our stops in the flow and transition. I know one of the big runs that cut the one, we got some in transition. We need to get more in transition. That means our defense has to be better, which, you know, we just gotta keep working at it. We just gotta get better.
Tony, far left.
You kind of mentioned it, but is this one of the more frustrating games? Even though you guys won it, you appeared frustrated on the sidelines.
Yeah, I was really frustrated. I mean, like, we want to be tougher than the teams we play, and I felt like we got, I mean, one of the areas you can look at a stat sheet and see how hard you play is rebounding, and they destroyed us on the glass. So I know we play small sometimes, but I didn't think that was the issue as much as it was. We just didn't give an effort when we needed to. I mean, you look at our offensive rebounding, we had 3 offensive rebounds. Jalen only played less than 4 minutes, got 1. Caleb Smith's the only other guy that got an offensive rebound. So I thought Herb crashed. Some of our other guys just didn't give an effort. So we gotta get that fixed. It's LSU crashes the boards hard. I've watched a half dozen games or so of theirs already, and we're gonna have a problem if we don't start rebounding the ball a lot better than we did today.
Back row, Cecil.
Just to go back to the end of the game situations, which had been a problem on the road in the close games, and were you a little bit more comfortable with that? Certainly making free throws, got to the line and make free throws.
Yeah, I think the only turnover we had there was where I thought Herb maybe, could have gone a block or he stepped out of bounds there. Yeah, so at least it wasn't inbounding the ball turnovers, stuff like that. We've been working on it. I think you gotta get the ball in the right guy's hands. You know, Herb's one of those guys where you know he's gonna go get the ball. He's gonna, if a guy throws him a tough pass, he's a tough kid, he's gonna go get the ball. Free throws, he hasn't been one of our best free throw shooters of the year necessarily. I think it's coming though. He made some big ones there late, especially, when he went to the line there at the very end with 2 seconds to go. When you miss that first one, that second one becomes a lot harder. So I thought it was big. He hit that to push it to 3. But yeah, I was a lot more pleased. I think we only had 6 turnovers in the second half. So if you only had 5 all the way up until that one where Herb stepped out of bounds on the side. So we did do a better job taking care of it, especially late. But the turnovers in the first half contributed to those big droughts I thought we had there.
Left side, Drew.
Coach, 2-part question. First, how do you feel this team has grown since the Florida game? As we asked the players, because this was a gritty win that this time they made free throws and finished. And then second, I know you didn't play a ton of minutes, played just under 15 minutes, but you were +6 with Galen Smith in the lineup. He got some big rebounds, I thought, in hustle plays in the game.
Yeah, in hindsight, he maybe needed to play more. He plays hard. We tried to get JV in some minutes, probably wasn't quite ready. Maybe should have just played Galen all those minutes, but Galen's a tough kid, rebounds, our rebounding numbers are up when he's in the game. Thought they were late when we needed stops. He came up with some big rebounds, so, we're gonna need him to play really big for us at LSU on Wednesday. And growth from the Florida game, if we're gonna play that game over again, I think we get the win. I don't think we turn the ball, what are we up 5 with 20 seconds to go. I think we get that win now. I was disappointed you had to take the loss against Florida to learn it, but I think our guys are better inbounding the ball, better taking care of it. We as a coaching staff had to get better feel for who's gonna go get the ball, who's gonna inbound it. We need to learn our personnel a little bit better too, so some of that's on us, and just being a first year and not coaching these guys maybe as long as we had been if we'd been here a lot longer.
We got 3 more questions. We'll start with Joe in the middle.
Nate, excellent crowd energy tonight. How does that help in post-game at the end?
I thought it was huge. I think we had about 12,000. I think the student section was just about sold out. We needed stops late. When they knew we needed stops, they got loud. Thought it was big. Gives you guys energy. We came up with some big stops and rebounds late when we needed it. So it's great to play in front of. It was almost a sellout, I believe. So it was great. They're coming, not just sitting on their hands. They're coming with some energy too. So it's great to play in front of a home crowd like we had today.
Okay, let's go back row, Cecil, and then we'll finish with Alex.
Coach, apparently I'm designated technical foul questioner. And John just caught up in a moment.
Yeah, I guess they said he rolled the ball at the referee, so I didn't actually see it, to be honest with you. So, I mean, the ref and John both told me that's what happened. Apparently he rolled it too hard and with an attitude, I'm guessing. So I didn't see it live. It's definitely not something we want to do. Coach gets a tee, I can't, foul the game with 5 fouls. I can't get a second one, but for him to get a tee to pick up his 4th is a big deal. And that's early in the second half, and we needed him. So he's got to learn from that. There's a lot of things I think we need to learn in this game. It's great if you can learn them and still get a win, which we did. So, yeah, he's got a better rapport with the referees. We need him on the floor, for that entire second half, outside of a blow here or there to get himself on the bench just to get rested. But, we were able, other guys stepped up. I thought Shackelford's second half was much better than his first half. I think he was a -8 on plus-minus in the first half, if I remember correctly on the halftime stats. He ends up +5. So when he's in the game in the second half, we're +13. So he stepped up big. Beetle gave us some big minutes there in the second half when we needed it. So that may have also contributed to some of the rebounding, because John's actually a big guard that goes and gets rebounds, and not having him in there. You got to play Kyra, Beetle, and Shaq together for longer minutes than you usually would. We probably struggled to rebound the ball a little bit there.
Okay, last question, Alex, on the right.
Kind of along those lines, Nate, really your starting 5, everybody had almost about 30 minutes or more. The bench, production-wise, and really even Tom Beetle, but everybody else didn't really see much of the floor. Was that kind of a result of the injuries to Jaden, or what would you attribute some of that to?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Jaden couldn't really go. We tried to get him a few stretches there and he just wasn't feeling it. So, that kind of cut the rotation to 8 and just went with who we were comfortable going with. I maybe in hindsight, maybe should have got Forbes a few more minutes. He got the offensive rebound, not an and one, but went to the free throw line, made the free throws. I think he plays really hard, gives us a little bit of an edge that way, and we got killed on the glass, so he maybe could have helped us there in hindsight. Maybe I should have played him more, but yeah, I thought Kyra was playing great, so he's at 36 plus. Well, get him out for a blow and get him back in. Beetle was pretty good at times. He just ends up in foul trouble so often. He's playing hard, but sometimes too aggressive. So Herb played 34, and that's with the 3 fouls early in the second half. So. Yeah, I mean, you look at Shaq and JP, even with the 4th foul early in the second half, still ends up with 31 minutes because, he's valuable enough to us, and we put him back in there with 10 minutes to go in the game. He played with 4 all the way up till almost the end of the game. So I thought he did well playing with 4 fouls as long as he did. But yeah, we're going to have to get more production out of our bench. We're going to have to probably play him a little bit more, and that's on me. Try to figure that out a little bit better. Galen definitely probably needed more minutes tonight, to be honest with you.
All right, thank you, Coach.